June 25th, 2026, the day GTA 6 pre-orders opened. The day Rockstar finally let the world put money on the most anticipated game in history. Somewhere in that day, a father opened his phone, handed his credit card to his teenage son, and said, "Go ahead." $100. GTA 6 Ultimate Edition. Preloading November 12th. Launching November 19th. Vintage Vice City pack included. The whole thing. And this specific kid, already had the PS5 Pro to play it on. Already had the 55-inch OLED on the wall. Already had the gaming PC with the RGB setup. Already had the separate room, the gaming chair, the controller charging station, the whole setup that most kids spend years building in their heads. He had all of it, and now he had the game too. Tonight, we're looking at the psychology behind that kid, what it does to a person, what builds, what it costs, and the twist, because there always is one. Psychologists who study what they call resource availability in childhood, the relationship between what a child has access to and how they develop, have found something that surprises most parents. Having everything does not automatically produce happiness. It produces familiarity. And familiarity, over time, produces a very specific psychological effect that researcher Barry Schwartz identified in his landmark work on what he called the paradox of choice. When everything is available, nothing feels special. The $100 game pre-order is exciting for a day. The PS5 Pro was exciting for a week. The OLED was exciting for 2. And then they all become furniture. This isn't ingratitude. It is a neurological process. Psychologists call it hedonic adaptation. The brain has a remarkable ability to normalize its circumstances. Whatever you have access to becomes the new baseline, and from that new baseline, the only way to feel excitement again is to get something even bigger. The kid in the perfect room is not ungrateful. He is running a biological program that every human brain runs. He just has more material for it to consume. Martin Seligman, the founder of positive psychology, found that material acquisition ranks among the least durable sources of well-being available to human beings. The satisfaction it produces is real, but it is brief. And it leaves behind it something subtle and difficult to name. A faint flatness. The sense that having the thing was better in the wanting than in the having. The kid with the Ultimate Edition pre-ordered on June 25th will play it on November 19th. And by December, it will be just another game on a shelf that already has too many games on it. Now, meet the other kid. He's not in a room with an OLED and a PS5 Pro. He's at a small desk, on an old laptop, watching someone else play GTA 6 on YouTube. He's been watching GTA 6 trailers since 2023. He knows every detail of the map, every confirmed mechanic, every character. He knows Jason and Lucia's story better than some people who will actually play the game. He will not be playing it on November 19th, or maybe for a very long time after that. And here is what the psychology of deprivation research tells us about this kid. Research that often surprises people when they first hear it. Psychologist Amos Tversky, whose work on loss aversion and value perception change how we understand human decision-making, found that the value a person places on something is directly proportional to the difficulty of acquiring it. The things we work for, wait for, sacrifice for, we value them differently. Not just more, differently, with a texture and depth that easy acquisition cannot produce. The kid watching GTA 6 videos on YouTube is building something the kid with a pre-order isn't building. He is building an anticipation so deep it has become architectural. He knows every street in Vice City from watching other people drive through it. He knows what he wants and why he wants it. And if he ever gets it, he will remember this time. He will carry the waiting into the experience, and the experience will be richer for it. That is not a consolation prize. That is a different kind of wealth. In 1972, psychologist Walter Mischel ran one of the most famous experiments in developmental psychology. Children were placed in a room with a marshmallow and told they could eat it immediately or wait and receive 2 marshmallows instead. The children who waited, who sat with the discomfort of wanting something and not having it, scored higher on almost every long-term outcome measured: academic performance, health, career satisfaction, financial stability, social relationships. What Mischel had identified was not just willpower. It was the ability to hold desire without collapsing under it, to want something intensely and use that wanting as fuel rather than demand. The kid watching GTA 6 videos on YouTube is practicing this every single day. He is sitting with wanting. He is learning what it feels like to care about something you cannot immediately have. In that lesson, learned through a video game, through 100 YouTube videos watched on a small laptop screen, is one of the most transferable psychological skills available to a human being. It will show up in his relationships, in his work, in his ability to pursue long-term goals in a world that increasingly rewards immediate gratification. The marshmallow test, run every day, through a game he cannot yet play. The kid with the pre-order skipped the test, not because he is worse or less capable, but because nobody gave him the opportunity to sit with the wanting. It would be too easy to say the kid with nothing is building character and the kid with everything is being spoiled. That's not what the psychology says. The reality is more nuanced and more interesting than that. The kid with everything is learning something real too. He is learning what it feels like to operate from abundance rather than scarcity. Research on what psychologists call scarcity mindset, developed extensively by Sendel Mullainathan and Eldar Schaffer, shows that people who grow up in conditions of persistent material deprivation carry a cognitive load that affects their decision-making, their creativity, and their long-term planning capacity. Having enough frees the mind. Having everything is excess, yes, but having nothing leave marks too. The honest psychology here is not that one kid is better off than the other in any simple sense. It is that they're being shaped by different forces, and those forces will produce different strengths. The kid with everything will need to learn, probably in his 20s when the world stops giving him what he wants simply because he wants it, what it feels like to build something, to earn something, to wait for something. That lesson will come. It always does. The question is whether anyone has prepared him for it. The kid watching from the outside is already learning what the world actually runs on, want effort, time, and the specific satisfaction of eventually arriving somewhere you work to reach. Neither kid is broken. Both kids are building, just with completely different materials. Here is the moment that psychology doesn't have a clean term for. The dreamer kid closes the laptop. The video is gone. The room is quiet. And for a few seconds, maybe longer, he just lies there. Not angry, not bitter, something more complicated than that. A specific mixture of longing and admiration, and a quiet private fire that he couldn't fully explain if you asked him to. Psychologist Carol Dweck, whose research on growth mindset changed how we understand ambition, found that children who admire others' achievements without access to those achievements themselves, who feel the pull of wanting something beyond their current reach, are the ones most likely to develop what she called mastery motivation. The drive not just to have something, but to become someone capable of earning it. The dreamer kid watching the setup video is not just watching a room. He is watching a destination. And every video he watches is adding another layer to the motivation that will eventually move him toward it. That ceiling he's staring at while the laptop is closed, the thoughts happening in that silence, are some of the most psychologically productive moments of his life, even if they hurt, especially because they hurt. The kid with the setup already has the destination. What he's missing, and what he'll spend years looking for, is the hunger. November 19th, 2026. GTA 6 launches. One kid will be in his perfect room, PS5 Pro on, OLED glowing, launching the game at midnight. Vintage Vice City pack already downloaded. The room smelling like new. Another kid will be watching someone stream it on YouTube. Probably the same kid whose setup video he's been watching for months. He'll watch the whole stream. He'll know every detail. He'll go to sleep at 3 a.m. having experienced something that wasn't his. And somewhere in that gap, that specific, painful, motivating, beautiful gap between those two kids, is where most of the important things in life get built. If you were the dreamer kid, if you watched from the outside while others had what you wanted, this video was made for you. And if you were the other one, the one who had everything handed to you, the most important moment of your life hasn't happened yet. It's coming, and it will be the first time you have to want something you cannot immediately have. That moment will teach you more than any setup ever could. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. They'll know exactly which kid they were.